Throughout American history, women have played pivotal roles in shaping the nation's political landscape. From early calls for equality to breaking barriers in public office, these women challenged the status quo and helped pave the way for future generations. From early calls for equality to breaking barriers in public office, these women challenged the status quo and helped pave the way for future generations. Abigail Adams, a formidable figure in the American Revolution, wasn't just the wife of the second U.S. president. Her letters to John Adams called for remembering the ladies in the drafting of new laws, laying an early foundation for women's rights in a time when few considered such a possibility. Lucy Stone was one of the first women in America to earn a college degree and became a leader in the suffrage movement. Stone's speeches and activism helped secure women's right to vote, inspiring others like Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton. Her refusal to take her husband's name upon marriage symbolized her fight for equality and independence. Both Sojourner Truth and Harriet Beecher Stowe took on dual roles as advocates for abolition and women's rights. Sojourner Truth, an escaped slave turned orator, delivered her famous "Ain't I a Woman" speech, directly challenging the intersection of race and gender inequality.
I have borne 13 children and seen most all sold off to slavery. And when I cried out with my mother's grief, none but Jesus heard me.
Stowe, author of Uncle Tom's Cabin, used her writing to awaken the nation's conscience, mobilizing support for the abolitionist cause and planting seeds of change. Jeanette Rankin made history as the first woman elected to the U.S. Congress in 1916, 4 years before women had the right to vote nationwide. A staunch pacifist, Rankin voted against U.S. involvement in both world wars, believing deeply in nonviolence. Her courage to stand by her convictions, even when unpopular, left an indelible mark on American politics.
It was while she was in Washington that she began to get heavily involved in the women's suffrage movement. She helped in the grassroots campaign that eventually led to Washington granting women the right to vote.
If the hogs of the nation are 10 times more important than the children, it is high time that women should make their influence felt.
Frances Perkins, the first female cabinet member, served as Secretary of Labor under President Franklin D. Roosevelt. A key architect of the New Deal, Perkins fought for Social Security, minimum wage, and workers' rights, transforming the American labor landscape.
It was the women from the Women's City Club and the League of Women Voters who were attributed with passing the original charter ballot amendments in 1924. They went from, it was only the second election that women could even vote in 1924, and they were, as a mass, went out and knocked on 2,000 or 3,000 doors to get women to register and to explain about why they needed the new charter kind of government, the city council manager government.
Bobby Stern, Cincinnati's charter right mayor in the 1970s, exemplified how women could lead government with vision and pragmatism. As mayor, she promoted social welfare, public health, and civil rights, earning respect across the political spectrum. Marion Spencer, a fierce advocate for civil rights, became the first black woman elected to Cincinnati's city council. Her fight to desegregate Coney Island and her leadership in politics helped dismantle racial barriers in the city, making her an inspiration to countless activists. And even now, Kamala Harris is seeking to become the first woman president. From Abigail Adams to Marion Spencer to Kamala Harris, these women defied the odds to change the course of history. Their legacies remind us that political progress often begins with voices willing to challenge power and demand equality for all. Learn more about the Charter Committee of Cincinnati and the Women's City Club of Cincinnati and how you can help shape our future.